Good evening, everyone. Welcome again to Wednesday webinar. As always, I'm bringing a topic which is very relevant today for not only leaders, for all professionals. And this again came up in my conversation with my clients, my peers, and I thought about having this webinar on the topic of navigating your career in the age of AI, which seems like an impossible transition. And I will see why I'm calling it as an impossible transition. And on this topic, I plan it to be a series of webinars because this is something which we cannot cover in 30 minutes, one slot of 30 minutes. So the way I plan to do it is to start from a, a long-term approach and then get into details in upcoming webinars. So let's get started. What is your feeling about GenAI impact on your career? Which one of which do you relate to? There are 5 options.
Um, I I will select option 2, curious. I'm
Curious.
watching how it evolves.
Yeah,
Um, uh,
you're still.
yeah, I'm still learning those Gen AI. Trying to understand how it works and all those things. I mean, I just was going through. Okay.
So yeah, so when I'm talking to my clients, Tishan, and we can discuss, because we're talking of the lawn, I can update you what I'm doing nowadays.
Okay.
So we can have a chat afterwards.
Sure,
So
definitely.
when I talk to my client, there's a spectrum of feeling how they are feeling. So as you said, you're feeling curious, right? There are some who are very concerned that they are not doing enough to catch up with what's happening in the Gen AI, how the jobs are going to change. And so different people are feeling different.
Mhm.
And I could be feeling curious and concerned at the same point also, right? So there's a combination of these which are being felt by professionals today.
Okay.
And let's say, why is it happening? So what's really changing around us? These are some statistics I've taken from a EY survey.
Mhm.
So what it says, and this is India specific. This is India specific across the industry. What it says that 24% tasks could be fully automated
Yeah,
across
it
the
can. Yeah,
industry.
yeah, definitely.
And another 42% could be enhanced by AI. So maybe not fully automated, some augmentation could be done.
Right.
At the same time, only 3% of the organizations have in-house AI talent today,
Mm-hmm.
right? And even more contrast is that 97% leaders cite the skill gap as their biggest barrier to adopting AI. So you can see that contrast, right? One side is so much opportunity of doing so much automation, and this 24% automation and further 42% enhance. You can understand this will lead to the productivity gains, efficiency, everything. However, there's a lot of worry because we don't have skills today at the same time.
Mm. Okay.
So what we were discussing on the first slide at an individual level, at the professional level, the same kind of dilemma is there at the enterprise level also.
Mm.
While there's a big opportunity, but we don't have enough skills to realize that. So what to be done? Now let's even go further. Is this level of automation, what we discussed, 24%, 42%, is that across industry? So again, taking input from that EY report. So there are some segments like call centers, software development, sales and marketing, which is predicted. And again, predicted because no one knows what's going to happen. There's so much change happening so fast. Things are changing. So these are prediction that 80% of the tasks could be automated in call center, 60 more than 60% in software development, and more than 40% in sales and marketing.
Okay.
Now there are other side, there are uh, segments like healthcare, which is very manually intensive if you think about it, isn't right? Because you've got the healthcare professionals, a lot of things which cannot be automated in near future. Banking insurance, it says 8%. I still have my doubts. I believe it should be more, but and pharma, it says 2%. And pharma, I'm considering it's about creating more, creating new medicines and all that stuff. So pretty low. But what we could see that each and every industry is going to get impacted in some form or other.
I mean, I have some experience in the pharma field when prior to long back, 20 years back, I used to work in one company which was developing drugs, and I think there should be more scope in that pharma in that drug discovery and other areas. Pharma should can use AI more than 2%. I
Could
mean
be.
that's just a single small part
Yes, yes,
of
yes.
the entire
Could be.
pharma industry.
Yeah, could be. So again, I think these are prediction. I think instead of looking at the numbers, the way of looking at it, call center is going to get heavily
Mm,
impacted
mm.
compared to pharma. So I think uh, numbers could be just the numbers, and but the message to summarize this slide is that every industry is going to get impacted. Some more, some less, and we'll see what happens as we get more changes uh, moving forward. Now let's quickly look at some of the myths, right? Now that we started initially from where this and you mentioned about the curiosity, right? And then we
Right.
look at some stat and how it's going to change. And let's see some of the myths. Let's see some of the statements and let's see if it's myths or reality. The first statement is AI will replace my role entirely. What do you think about it?
Um, AI can replace my role entirely. Yeah, it can replace it. Yeah, it can do lot of things what I do, because if I can have an AI agent which acts on behalf of me, yes, it can replace my role. But at some point, uh, I would see it in a different way. If I can, AI will enable me to do my work 10x or 20x or whatever number of with that efficiency. So AI won't replace me completely, but I can multiply or improve my efficiency multiple ways, multiple times using AI.
Correct.
Uh,
So, sorry, carry on. You were saying something.
so I think if I'm somebody who can create AI agents to do my work, my efficiency can be improved multiple times. That's
Absolutely.
my
That's No, you're right. That's what the truth is. Again, quoting from a McKinsey reports that up to 30% of the work hours might be automatable by 2030, right?
right,
And it's more of an augmentation than replacement. So it's a myth that AI will replace my role entirely. And it might happen that in some cases, like the call center, this 30%, maybe 80%.
right,
In other profession, this might be lower, but it's not going to replace any role entirely. There is going to be a need of the human touch always, at least for next few years.
right, right.
So next one, I'm too senior. I'm a domain expert. I am not technical. So this GenAI does not apply to me. What do you think about this
Uh,
statement? Is this
uh,
myth or truth?
I cannot accept this statement, because you have to keep changing with the newer technologies, whatever is coming up. I cannot say that I'm too senior to adapt and change. I cannot be static. Nothing is going to be static forever.
Exactly. And exactly. And there's even when I talk to people, they normally talk that, okay, this will impact more junior people, the less experienced people in the industry, but the impact is going to be across. And we are seeing it today, right?
Right,
It's not only limited to the lesser experience or the technology, It's going to be across the experience spectrum, across the domain, and technical and non-technical roles alike. It's again a myth. So the last one, if I learn a Gen AI tool, I'll be safe. I'll be safe means my career would be safe.
Completely wrong. Not a single tool. I mean, you should know the technology. You know how to. It won't work. You'll not. You'll never be safe by learning it or couple of
Yeah,
tools.
absolutely. So truth is that the tool, if someone is relying only on tool, that will get automated sooner or later.
Yeah.
What is going to make a big difference is combining the experience or the domain knowledge. Domain knowledge, I've been talking to multiple people. Domain knowledge is going to become more and more uh, a key differentiator. Plus, of
Okay.
course, the judgment and all. The team collaboration cannot be replaced. We can't foresee it.
Mm.
So, team collaboration, empathy, all that, and domain experience is not easily replaceable by Gen AI, at least as of now,
Right.
because that data is not available so openly. So you're right, 100%. So only tool proficiency will not going to make anyone's career uh, disruption proof.
Right. That's true. Agree with you. 100%.
So now let's move forward. We have seen some facts now. Now, what could we do about it? So I'll share a framework which could be helpful for professionals on how to kind of go from here to where they are able to take care of career better. But before that, I wanted to share this model of mine which I have, and UinLEAD is my company, Dishant, which I've
Okay.
recently started.
Okay.
uh, so this model, I call it as identity to impact model. So the internal circle is the values, so which are inherent values or something which I value more, right? So my value could be uh, maybe working with people, empathy, right? Just take example, right? And
Hmm.
then I could have built a lot of capabilities. Now value could also be my inherent capability also. That might be I'm a good listener. So that's also the inner circle. The middle
Hmm.
circle is the capability which we build. So it could be new skill, new experience. So that's the middle circle of capability. And the outer circle is the impact. Now, if you relate to it, we are all talking about the impact, right? The productivity gain, the efficiency. But the challenge here is for a professional, especially who has worked for 15, 20 years, it's not difficult to change just the capability or impact, because there's a lot of value identity also attached with what we have been doing for last 15, 20, 30 years. Would you
Hmm.
agree with that?
And I agree with you. Yeah.
And that is where the actual challenge come. That is where it become an impossible transition unless we kind of address this value part. Without that, if we try to address capability or the impact, then there are friction which comes. And when we say, okay, I'm not able to learn, I'm not able to adopt to the new technology, basically it's the alignment. It's not the capability issue that we can't learn. It's basically I'm not aligning with the new way of working. And again, for today's topic, value is more of a coaching, one-on-one coaching. So we'll not touch here. We would be the framework which I'll be giving will be more on the capability and impact. But we can discuss about the value part later.
Okay.
So now let me move to the framework. What I'm sharing how to. So I'm calling it A.I.M framework. So A stands for adapt. So this is the first step a professional has to take on a roadmap to stay ahead in the age of Gen AI.
Hmm.
So
Right.
adopt is building the foundation. So I'm just putting some timelines that, because if I would assume most of the professionals are already at this stage, right? If not the
Right.
next one.
Right.
If not, get there in next 30 days.
Hmm.
Don't take too much time. So what exactly is adopt? learn how to use Gen AI tools. And I think most of us are already doing it. But I think the key here is safely and smartly, right?
Okay.
Lot many of us are still using ChatGPT as a Google search, right? And that
Mm.
does not provide a lot of value. Then start working on some productivity hacks. How Gen AI could help you improve productivity. Start exploring them. And these are some of the examples which I have given from my context.
Hmm.
This will change depending on anyone's context, what role he is doing. The first one will remain, learn how to use Gen AI. Productivity hacks could mean different for different professions. Then
Right.
start automating some of the daily processes, right?
Right. Right.
And then building a growth mindset because, as you said, curious, right? So you already have that mindset about curiosity and not a fear, listen. So,
Right.
but this is important because things are going to change rapidly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So see, you're already at the adopt stage, right?
I am. I am trying.
Yeah. You're already, and I think most of us, at least in the technology, will be in adopt. Maybe some non-technology sectors, some people might not be here, but I think most of us are adapt. If we are not, we have to do it in next 30 days. You can't spend too much days. 30 days is just to show the urgency.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the first. So second is the integrate. So now that we have learned about the tools, we have to start integrating AI into workflow. So let me give you one example. It should not be more. So let's say if I have to post something on LinkedIn, it should not be that I'm creating it on ChatGPT, then doing a copy paste, taking to LinkedIn. I should be able to use something like Notion,
Mm.
create the post there, and from there directly put it to LinkedIn. Or create a content on Canva and directly from there click a button, post it on LinkedIn. So that's a very basic example of integrating AI into our workflows. It could be
Right.
much more. And then start understanding how the business use cases could be built. And I think this is where most of the organizations are struggling today, what I've seen. Uh, there are a lot of trainings happening, but the solid use case are still being discovered.
Charan, one question here. So when you say that integrate AI to your workflow, so being in a company, we will not be able to. Companies won't trust the third-party Canva or Notion or any other tool like that. So unless they have an official account and this. So that's something which I know. I was wondering how in the industry people are using it.
True. Uh, and see, at least I work with startups also. At least startups are
Yeah,
quick to adopt
startups.
these.
Yeah, they will adopt quickly. Yeah, that's true.
Yes. So let me think
But
about
again,
example
the
from.
data integrity part, how do they ensure that when we use these kind of tools? Because if you're putting some, suppose you're creating a presentation or you're automating your mail interactions or you know anything like that, or assuming that you bring this automation into Slack, get a summarized developments on last 24 hours or interactions like that. But that contains a lot of data, and those data are also sensitive. I'm sorry, whether I'm intruding or
No, no,
moving away from
valid.
the
No, no,
topic.
no, valid point. Please. So I can share about. So I typically work with startup or I work with large organizations. So in the large organization, I've seen they have started building their own
Oh,
local LLMs, not building but hosting LLMs where the data which you're uploading is secure. Till okay.
right,
So as you see, we have data classification, right? The public and then uh, so it would be public, private, confidential, extremely confidential, something like that, right? We have that
right.
class data classification. So I have seen some companies allow till confidential data to be uploaded, not on the not on the public chat GPT, but the one which they are hosting inside their organization.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Right,
Yeah. So that is happening. Yes. Outside, you're right. No, not on the public one. And that is where in the first adopt. Gen AI tools safely and smartly.
Yeah, I saw
That's
that. I
safely is a
noticed that
big,
safely and smartly. I noticed.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not sure how medium-sized companies who cannot host something like LLM inside their private, uh, I don't know how they are doing it, but I'm aware about the big companies, they're able to do it this way.
Yeah, they are doing that. Uh, we also have some LLM within Oracle also, which they used.
Yeah. And then again, as we start integrating the point you raised, the third point, begin exploring responsible AI and the governance basics. So all that will come then. So it has to be part of journey uh, on because once we start using, there will be a lot of questions like what you raised, the data privacy and all that stuff, which will come into picture. So it's again, all of it is a learning.
Yes.
And then again, the last point which I wanted to highlight is the shift mindset from role to skills. This is something which I want to discuss. Like roles are going to get changed in a drastic way, I see in the coming years.
Hmm.
What will become more important is the skills which we are carrying.
Okay. Like what? Can you elaborate? I mean, can you expand on?
So let me pick one role of let me take a scrum master role, right?
Mhm.
Or then we can probably pick one role which you can relate to. Uh, so scrum master role, if we think about that, I am a scrum master or someone is scrum master, he has to do uh, the things like team building, facilitation. Now, that role might not be required with the GenAI, just an example. But if that person or professional who is in the Scrum Master role, he focus on the skill like the listening skill or empathy or conflict resolution or these kind of skills, that skill will still be relevant. So
Okay.
if that professional is focusing on the skills which he or she has and not worrying about the role, then he or she is in a better position. Kishan. That's what I meant there.
Okay. If I correlate to your previous slide, that will be the core of your previous slide, right? Values.
No, that would be the
Values,
capability only.
capability only. Okay. Okay.
Capability only. So role is something. So role is not there. So role is the title to help you. So
Okay.
like
No,
we
no,
have.
no. What I
Uh,
said was, in the Scrum matter where solving conflicts or empathy or, those will be
uh,
the values which you have developed over a
correct.
period of time.
Correct. You're correct. Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
And
Right.
these, it is being said that these values are not replaceable easily by GenAI. You would
Yes.
would have been
Yeah.
reading it,
Right.
right?
Right.
So
I mean, I
between
was
value
just
and
just going back, trying to understand what your
no,
thought.
good, valid point. So these values become very important, and then skills also. You're right to point out like the skills might also need an update, but one thing which you can't focus is the role because role is going to change.
Roles will change.
Role will change. So role fixation will not be helpful. We have to stick with the values and the skills which we build.
Right.
Right. So that's next 3 months. Could be 6 months, 3 to 6 months again, depending on industry and all. And the last one is what I'm calling as morph. So A.I.M.
Okay.
And this is from where you change from just doing to designing, right? So you're able to design the workflow and all. You're actually able to lead the transformation. Because see, as we saw in the earlier slide, the talent is not there. So organization will not be able to achieve the benefit. So that is where the opportunity for professionals also come. So learn to lead the transformation, shape AI-enabled strategy, mentor others. Maybe you could mentor someone who's not in technology or who has not still reached integrate stage. And then maybe some option of explore structured learning will also come up. I don't know, in the form of postgraduate diplomas or some courses
Mm.
in Coursera also could be there. So that could be 1 to 2 years. So this is what kind of, I've wanted to share as a framework. So starting from the first awareness, foundation, and then next level, which is integration, and then morph where, we have reached from a doing stage to a designing stage.
This is a good framework. I mean, adopt, integrate, morph. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is what I had for today. Listen,
Okay.
uh,
Good to see you and hear from you after a long time.
again, thanks for joining.